How goes it, everyone? It's Wombat, and I'm back again with another spicy MFB combo. This is Metal Face Light, Virgo TH170EDS, and this combo is a stamina type, and it was probably my go-to safe combo over the past year, I guess. Yeah, because I'll explain why, but it's a variant to the Flame 230 CS EDS, like a very distant cousin of that, because it's designed to do similar things. So basically, Metal Face Light was chosen because it's the metal face, gives the most stamina to the Beyblade, because of this outward weight distribution. So that's why I chose it. Virgo is the metal wheel. I actually said in a podcast recently that it was heavier than I expected it to be. I expected it to be somewhere around like 34-35 grams, but it's actually somewhere in the upper 37 range. So it's a bit heavier than most things in limited, which are around like the 32-33-ish gram range. So this is actually a fairly heavy metal wheel. But the reason I chose it was not only because of its weight and its smooth shape, but also because of these slopes, which actually generate a decent amount of upper attack, which is part of why I chose it on this combo. It's kind of like the MFB version of the circle upper attack ring from Death Gargoyle and HMS, which is it doesn't hit nearly as hard, but it has like a much similar effect and a similar shape. But yeah, I actually picked up Virgo after Jesse Obre won a tournament with it like probably 2 years ago or so, and I just haven't gotten around to using it until late last year, just because there hasn't been very many limited tournaments. Hopefully this will change soon with the whole MFB Remembrance Day and other things, but we'll see. But anyways, I chose it because it has a good amount of stamina, about the same as Earth, I believe, and also the stabilization upper attack potential, which you'll see why in a few minutes. TH170 is the track I chose. It only comes on beat links from Random Booster 7 or the Sonic Kong starter, so it is kind of a difficult part to get, but it's incredibly useful. So basically it can change heights from 170 to 195, and then finally to 220, which is its tallest height. Which basically gives you a 230 that can change heights almost, so, which is nice. And the reason I use this is because if you're up against something short, like 145 height or lower, you can change the track to 220 and avoid their hits, kind of like Earth or Flame 230 does. But if you're up against another Flame 230 combo or a 230 combo, you switch down to, where is it, 170 and destabilize them with Virgo, which is why these two parts work so well together. And then finally the tip is EDS. It is the third tall tip you can use on these tracks that actually has good balance. The other two are CS and MB. There we go, that clicked on properly. Yeah, CS and MB. CS is the most defensive of the three, but it has the worst stamina. MB, I believe, has the most stamina, and EDS is somewhere in between the two. I actually just tried this mirror match, and MB was outspinning EDS. But they both have more stamina than CS does. The thing is that MB and CS all move kind of aggressively, which can make you vulnerable to tornado stallers. And EDS does not do that unless it is like very worn down, and it does wear down kind of quickly just because it has such a fine point tip. It's almost like a big plastic version of metal change with how quickly it wears down. But yeah, it does have such a fine tip that it will wear down kind of quickly. I've used this, like, this is the EDS I only use in tournaments, and I don't know if you can tell, but the spike part is already starting to wear down a little bit. I've used it maybe, I want to say 5 or 6 times. It's nowhere near as bad as like a Valkyrie or some other parts that wear down easily, but it is like kind of temporary, so it's good to buy 2 or 3 of these. I have another one that I use for testing and another one that I haven't used yet. But anyways, the reason I chose this is because it is a lot more stationary, which will allow it to hang on to stamina longer than MB or CS will. And also lets you avoid any tornado stallers or like stray attack types that can't sliding shoot properly and instead just tornado stall. Because if you use MB or CS, you tornado stall as well, and you have a better chance of being KO'd by one of those. And with EDS, you just kind of stay in the middle, and that's not the case. Although, like, if you can sliding shoot EDS on this outer ring and make it move in like a weird way if you need to avoid stuff to do that. But it's a lot more useful performance tip than people give it credit for. It was kind of overlooked for a while, which is kind of why I started using it on this combo too. So yeah, I'll check out some of this combo's matchups now. So up first, we're going to be testing the Virgo combo versus Earth 90WD. For this matchup, you're going to want to have the track in 220 height, just so you can outspin every time. And as you can see, Virgo is just way too tall for Earth to do anything to it. And this will even work against taller stamina combos like Earth BD. You still want to use this height so you can get on top of them and destabilize them, or I guess reverse destabilize them. It's a lot closer just because the height difference is less, and bearing drive is a lot more raw stamina. Let's do that again just to make sure. So this will take out most shorter right spin stamina combos on any cone shaped tips like WD or BD, because of the same way Twin Nemesis on Reboot works basically. It will smash them or like reverse destabilize them into the ground. So what makes this different from a normal Flame 230 combo like this one, Flame 230 CS, is this combo's ability to beat that kind of combo as well by using the track to change to, I think, either 195 or 170. We'll try both, see which works better. Let's try 195 for now. And the slopes on the metal wheel to destabilize Flame and its weird raised shape. Yeah. It also has a chance of KOing Flame. I mean, it's pretty obvious by this point, but I forgot to mention that if you're using this combo, in most scenarios you're going to want to be hard launching, because it is a stamina combo. I might need 170 for this. Yeah, you need to get the height matchup right. So yeah, it looks like 170 works better than 195 for this matchup. I keep forgetting which one it is, but I'll have to remember it's 170. That's 3-1 for Virgo. So despite all these, a matchup that this combo is super susceptible to is left spin stamina, like Medio TR145 EWD. It will get outspun by these because it is too tall, and the EDS tip is not that great for precision compared to the D series of tips. So I'll just weak launch these so I can get the battle over quicker, but switch to 220 height just to see if it makes a difference. Nope. And then even at the 195 height, it still is going to lose. This is more or less an unwinnable matchup for the Virgo combo, unless somehow it gets a random KO on media. Another matchup this combo is pretty susceptible to is upper attackers like Screw or Lightning, because they do hit upward and it's a pretty tall combo. Against both of these, it depends on like what height your opponent's at. Like, so this one is at 85. For this, you would switch to 220 so you can avoid most of their hits. Bye. Match that. You can hear it's mostly making contact with the spin track, so it's not really hitting the metal wheel, which is the super recoily part. Still has a chance of KOing, but so yeah. Even though the attacker can still win, generally they'd need like a pretty good sliding shoot to hit you, and if you're on the 220 height, you have a better chance of avoiding their attacks if they're on a super short spin track. If the attacker is taller, like on R145 for example, so something designed to like specifically counter taller opponents, then you're kind of out of luck. The best you can do in this case is, I guess, try and go downward, so you kind of match them for height and their upper attack isn't as effective, and then against opposite spin you'll want to weak launch. Against Screw R145 you wouldn't weak launch. So yeah, you can outspin it if you get lucky enough to not get KO'd. Wow, I think I just KO'd that into the camera. Something else you can try is a weird, almost like sliding shoot with EDS. To make it move like that and attempt to avoid the attacks as well. But for the most part you are out of luck against a taller attack type, even if they are opposite spin. So if you come up against a combo like Burn 90 MF, the thing you're going to want to do is change to TH220 height and launch as hard as you can, because and this is where EDS comes into play, because if you're using CS or MB, you would start stalling, and that would make you vulnerable to getting KO'd by the Tornado Staller. But with EDS, that's not as much of an option because it mainly stays in the center. So this one won by just like a rotation or two. Normally it wins by a lot more. I think something might be up with my EDS. It might be getting a bit worn. But also, if they sliding shoot, you pretty much win because you're on the top. And yeah, it becomes much easier to beat because there's more contact with the spin track if they sliding shoot. And lastly, against Gravity F230 GCF. So basically, if they're going up against you, they're going to be in the left spin direction. There's not really much you can do. You can try switching to 170 height and launching hard to try and KO them, but they're going to outspin you pretty much no matter what you do. Yeah, it's Gravity by like one rotation. I don't know, with a good F230 it should win, or Gravity should win 100% of the time. But for whatever reason, I can never make this setup work. I have a this is my Takara Tomy Orange F230, and I don't know why, but it just doesn't beat things like other people's does. Yeah, you can try and try and hear them. There we go, Gravity again. Or they can also KO you. Yeah, it's just, it's not a very easy to win matchup. You think you've got like a 20-30% chance if you get lucky and launch right. So overall, Metal Face Light, Virgo TH170EDS. It's not exactly a versatile combo, but it is a safe combo, meaning that it's a stamina type that can be used against a bunch of different combos that are not super good and win consistently against them. It uses the height of the tip and the mode change of the spin track to respond to different height matchups and defeat the other main safe combo, which is Flame 230. And it can defeat low track Earth, mid track Earth, a lot of other combos that are normally seen as safe. So it's kind of like a anti-meta safe combo. However, it does lose to left spin stamina, left spin F230, mostly left spin in general, just because it is so tall, and that means it's not very good at spin equalizing. And it's especially weak to upper attack as well, so something like Screw or Lightning or Vulcan can take it down pretty easily. But yeah, it's also relatively easy to use, which makes it another safe combo. Another thing about it being a safe combo is that it's relatively easy to use, so there's also that. I think after this I'm going to be doing I don't know what's next after this. I'll try and think of another combo that I like. It might be burst, it might not be, but whatever it is, I will see you guys then.